encourage you to, make it a point to come by. This is open to any organization, church, ministry, nonprofit, business. If you're a leader, if you're a volunteer, or you're just wanting to connect, and maybe God is calling you to do something and you don't know exactly where to connect, believe me, you want to be able to come, and maybe you'll find something to do or somewhere to connect and to be able to, maybe answer God's calling in your life. But we definitely invite you. It's free of charge. There's no the membership. There's nothing you have to pay. We also provide a light breakfast in the morning, so that's a big plus there if you want to come by just for the tacos if you want. And I know I shouldn't be talking about tacos because you just heard a couple of guys here that they're probably saying no, not tacos. You need to have celery and carrots, and you're going to get the picture why when we start to talk to them right now. And I know they're looking at me like, yeah, boy, you need to get away from them tacos. But no, we're grateful for everything that God has given us up to this point. But I want to thank you for joining us here, and I want to go to my guest right now. They are, let me put it this way, these men are cut, they are, in shape, and that's why I look at myself and I'm like, oh man, there's something wrong here. But I'm glad that they're here with us because they're gonna talk about what they do, and it's called MACFit. And I'll be honest with you, bro, I'm seeing MACFit and I'm thinking Big Mac. So I don't know about that name, but hey, but if it works for you, hey, it's working for you. But no, thank you guys for coming, for being here, bro. Thank you so much. Yes, please let us know who you are. Let the people know. Say hello to people that are. Introduce yourself, and we'll get into this conversation here.
First off, I want to thank you, Sal, for the opportunity and bridging the gap and just what it's mean. I've been there probably for. Mm-hmm. Couple months now, and just the interesting people you meet, but just the God-fearing people and the people that are involved in the community. It's just a blessing to be a part of it. And I know, Sal, you're organizing everything, and so just hats off to you. I always say it, but thank you, sir. I really do mean it. Love your heart, love everything you're doing, and I know it's not an easy thing, and we're definitely praying for you here. To go into a little introduction, my name is Patrick McDonald Jr., and my brother here.
It's Jeremy McDonald here as well, guys.
And we are the owners and operators of MACFit, not McFit. We don't want you guys to think of
Big Mac, right?
Big Mac. But what MACFit stand for, and we are McDonald, so that's actually our last name, ironically enough. But
wow. So that's where the inspiration came from.
No, but it really it's not just a play off of our last name. MAC is move, achieve, change, and that's everything that we stand for. Constant movement, constant achieving, constant changing. That's what we always want to represent, right. And we preach. Give you a little background. We've been doing this for about, 4.5, 5 years. Mm-hmm. We've always been active, come from a sports-specific background, and I think from that background, it's blessed us to be able to understand fitness from a different side of things. Mm-hmm. Being in such a great city that we live in, culturally, with all the great food and the great people and the great culture, I think it's a refreshing outlook. When we moved here back in 2001, being military brats, we were able to kind of see things differently. And so MACFit Athletics is really we want to help people in every aspect when it comes to fitness, but not just from I think the fitness industry has a bad, I don't know, I'd say rap, but it's more about aesthetics and about the appearance of things. Mm-hmm. And we want to look at it from an inward appearance. It's not just about the outside, it's about the inside. It
right.
says God looks at the heart. And so
right, it starts from the inside out.
Starts from the inside out,
yeah.
Right? And so that's one thing we always preach is I think we started with camps, free camps actually.
Yeah.
We started outdoor free camps, and we just really want to start to help with our family first. Helping with certain things, diabetes, things like that. That's what we try to come against. And so started with the free camps, and we later got into it and understood that it's something that we wanted to do and wanted to be a blessing to not just our family but to friends and to our great city of San Antonio. We were able to grow, and God's blessed us and been with us every step of the way. Mm-hmm. And now we are owners of. We have a building off of by 281 by the airport. We have several classes that go on. Online training. We do some group training, and our baby right now is our Next Up program, which is with the youth as well. So we've grown over all the years through the steps and trials and tribulations, but. we are truly blessed to be in the position that we are in. And I know I kind of skipped over some stuff. I know Jeremy can
Yeah, I definitely want to dive in
in.
a little bit. Even before all that, I think one of the big points when it comes to us is our family. Where it was all birth was just kind of seeing the health struggles and health issues that we have in our own family, as well as just everyone around, all of our friends and close ones as well. I mean, everyone can name somebody that has, cancer, high blood pressure, the diabetes. These illnesses are just running rapid, and we see it in our family, and we're like, hey, we got to do something about this. It was already within us. It wasn't something that we had to force at all. And honestly, we kind of realized years after, playing high school football, playing collegiate football, that this is something that we needed to take a further step on and, develop. It was a passion that we didn't even know was there. It was something that came easy. Yeah. And that kind of helped people that are kind of lost or kind of struggling with what direction should I go in my life, what passion, which way should I go. Just a little bit of advice. It's already there in you. It's something that you already have. You know what I mean? You kind of have to discover it and kind of develop it. But once we decided to take a step towards that, our family backed us, and then we started, doing the free camps. We did that for almost a year and a half, 2 years, where we just really wanted to give back to the community first and foremost. And then from there, just the glory of God and just, being consistent, we were able to grow and grow. And now, like my brother said, we have our full operating facility. We have several classes going on and several other business endeavors that have branched off of it as well. So.
Yeah. You got to feed the passion, right? And that was your passion, because from what I'm hearing from you is that you guys played football. Where did you play football, or what position did you play? I'm just curious. I love football. That's why
I played wide receiver. In high school, I was kind of all around, but more of like a wide receiver, slot back type of player.
Yeah, I was more on the defensive side, so I played more linebacker, defensive end, and a little I guess H-back, tight end, fullback type position.
So that's basically where your drive is coming from, because you've already been. I think maybe it's a little harder when you're not involved with sports and everything to get to where you're at right now.
For sure.
What you want to do, or your vision, because it's like I'm already in it. So it's like if I continue the flow, it'll get me there.
Right.
I don't have to start something totally different that I'm not doing.
For sure.
And so I think that's why you've been able to get to where you're at right now, because of your love and especially because of like you said, this is what's in your heart.
Yeah,
right.
Definitely.
And you want to give back, and you want to help the community, and that's awesome. Because a lot of times, to be honest with you, I know it's a business, and business is a business, but yet sometimes a lot of people use it more for it's more about the money than
most definitely.
What kind of impact are we making in people, like you said.
Yeah, most definitely. So, I think even kind of piggybacking on what you said, from the money standpoint. One thing when we first got into it, we want to make sure that our prices were always affordable. I think we could have charged a lot more, even for monthly rates and things like that, but we wanted to make sure that it was affordable and that we weren't in it for just the money. And so everything that we do is always based around our people and what they need. And so our workout plans, the way we created them, the pricing structure, even to the time of day we have certain classes, it's all been just for the people's needs. And I feel like if your heart's in the right place and you're doing things the right way and you're taking care of God's people, God's going to take care of you. And I think that's why we've seen just the growth in this such a crazy season with COVID. I know business is shutting down. I'd actually say when COVID kind of happened and when everything started kicking up, business actually got better for us in a sense. And so I think that's just through consistency, through, I think we go through adapting, yes, sir. But we didn't quit. We had some times where we had to go to online training specifically, where we had to go back out to the parks, and when the parks closed down, we had to just continue to evolve. Right. Yes, sir. But we didn't quit, and I know that's something that you talked about, during your meeting today. But we made sure we were always doing something, keep doing something, but always keep the people involved and keep the people's mind and what they need. And I think a lot of times every decision that we make is always based off of our needs for our clients.
Definitely.
And we go from there.
Yeah, and that's the drive, right? The drive that comes from the heart is a lot different than something that comes from, the money side of it.
Yes, sir.
Because you can be driven. I mean, I know I've seen it where you're driven by money instead of by your passion or your heart that, I want to do this for the right reason.
Yes, sir.
And I believe that as Christians, I think we do it for the right reason. Like, the scripture says that seek first the kingdom of God, and everything is going to be added. So I believe that because, I had a business and I understood that concept, and it wasn't about making the money. It was about doing what was right.
Yes, sir.
And making an impact and affecting people in a positive way where all that will come back to you.
Yes,
because I remember people will say, hey, I recommend you, or somebody's calling me, say, hey, you got very highly recommended. And I'm like, Oh, really awesome. So everything you're doing doesn't come back void to you, especially if you're doing it with, with the love of God in your heart,
sir.
that those things will come. Sometimes we want it right away.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's a downfall, right? Because if we're not millionaires by the age of 1 year or whatever that we started, then I quit.
Yeah, we're ready to quit. Throw the
Right.
towel in.
But God knows why He doesn't give you what He gives you, because He knows the moment you get that, you're like, you start moving into another direction, and you lose focus, or you lose, like, your passion of what you're doing it, because now you're doing it for the other reason.
Exactly.
Yes, sir.
And so I think that's where you guys are at, being able to say, yeah, you know what, we're on a mission here, and the mission has a process, and everything that you're doing is calculated.
I don't think they said
Definitely.
it any better, sir. That was beautiful.
So what I know, and this is what really, when you said that, because like I said, my passion is work with youth. I like the fact that you're the skills and everything that you're doing, you're targeting youth as well. Give me a little bit about that, what you're doing, or the programs that are available.
So the name of our youth program is called Next Up. Basically, what we do is we train all types of athletes, from volleyball, basketball, football, even track. But not even that. We take everyday people, even just regular students. We know right now that child obesity rates are through the roof, especially when you talk about COVID. We're in a pandemic. Kids are on their iPads, phones, Xboxes. Less and less time has been spent outside. I mean, I remember when we were growing up, my dad would kick us out the house and don't come back, until
Can't
it's
come back
night.
to the street lights. Come on, man. Yeah,
Oh
so
yeah, I remember that.
those days are over, though.
And those,
Yeah.
that's what's missing now. And we wanted to really attack that head on, but not only that, just build better individuals, better men, better women. And we think in that we can build better athletes as well.
Right.
We're having our kids write down goals, just something that we've been practicing the past few weeks, just going into the new school year, something that we're going to hold them accountable for. We're going to check in with them when we show up to their games and their competitions and things like that. And just making sure that when they do go out there to perform, that the academics, that the spiritual side, that the mental side matches up as well, not just, what you're doing in your sport.
Right, the competition. And that's what I tell them. I said, look, you want the edge. I mean, build your foundation in God and build everything on top of that.
Yes, sir.
Right.
Because, all your skills and everything are great, but unless you have that foundation. And I mean, sometimes you see it, right? You get some of these athletes that, they're really good, but it gets to their head, or they don't have that foundation and they go the wrong route. They
sir.
become successful, and then before you know it, it's like, where are they at now? So I think having that, and that's what I believe, the discipling, the mentorship, or the foundation needs to be that of what God's word is. And then if you're able to do that, man, God's going to there's no telling where He'll take you.
Yes, sir.
But that's where you have the edge over other people.
I agree. One thing we're also doing with the kids, we've I guess you could say we partner with Redeemer's Praise Church and Pastor Chatigo, and once a month we bring them down to the church and we let them get their hands dirty, and they are able to see a lot of the things. She has a phenomenal program where she's feeding homeless and doing a lot of things with things within her community, and so we're bringing the kids to her church and just let them get their hands dirty. We'll shut down class and let that be our class period, and they'll go out and see things and just
Community service.
Community service essentially is what it is. But the thing about that also, it's we've been able to see their families get involved as well. So it's not just them; it's their families are getting involved as well. And it's again just making a better person. Creating the foundation, like you said. And so things that we've taken importance to, things that our parents have instilled in us. We're just trying to pass it forward to the next generation. So.
Definitely.
And that's awesome because, we, especially nowadays, it's a lot of kids, especially here where we're at, they come from single parent homes. Their dad, where's your dad? Well, he's locked up. Yeah. Or even sometimes their mom, their mom may be on drugs or something, and the kid really has to figure it out on his own. Yeah. And when I was helping with the youth, the youth ministry here, that's what you're getting these kids, and it's like they don't have a sense of direction. They just think, okay, this is life. This is where I was born. I just continue the cycle. Yeah. And I'm like, no, you don't. Now you know something, because this is what we want to counter it with. Yes, sir. To be able to understand that, you may have lived in a negative situation, but I'm going to introduce you to something positive.
Exactly.
Something that you don't have to do. You can become successful, whatever you want to do, or whatever it is that maybe God has put in your heart to do. If you have a talent and a gift, utilize it. Yes, sir. Utilize it for the right reason. Yes, sir. And that's where we, as the older generation, I guess, need to empower those kids to that, because they've never gotten it. Yeah, exactly. And I commend you on what y'all are doing, because you're young and you're making an impact on the children. Not only that, but your clients or everyone who you're serving is benefiting from what you are doing with them in the long run, in the short run.
Yeah. We appreciate that. Thank you so much.
So what as far as that, are you looking to build that up as far as what the youth are doing, or what are your visions on that right now?
Yeah, so just kind of in the short term, we do a 1 million push-up challenge every year. So we have a lot of announcements coming up on that, but really quick turnaround. Something that we're doing shorthand is just we're focusing that entire event on the youth. We're going to take that back to school, or take everybody getting involved back in sports and cheer and things like that. And we're going to take that as a way to kind of get the community involved and get it involved through schools, through the kids and through the youth.
Yeah, so every year, to kind of piggyback on my brother said, every year we do, it's actually our third year doing, I can't say every year, but we do a 1 million push-up challenge, and we actually try to challenge our city to get 1 million push-ups all together. And so this year we're focusing more on the youth, especially with kids going back to school, like my brother said. But we just want to get the community involved, and just let people know the importance of health and exercise, and what a better way to just do push-ups. And so we'll kind of be announcing some more things coming up, but be on the lookout for that on our website and on our Instagram, things like that we got coming up. But that's definitely exciting.
Yeah,
definitely exciting.
And so you just mentioned your website. What is your website in case people maybe want to get some more information, or they want to look at what you guys are doing? Your Facebook, I know you have Facebook. Just put that out there so people can.
Yeah, so our website is www.macfitathletics.com. All of our social media handles is going to be at MacFit Athletics. You can find us on Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, Facebook, the whole nine. So make sure you guys check us out. Give us a follow as well.
And I know also I want to be able to plug in, because I know you guys just started up again. You have a podcast as well, right?
Yes,
that
sir.
Maybe you want to put out there that let people know.
Yeah. So our podcast title is the Move Achieve Change podcast, and so we have new episodes airing every Monday, and we're actually into the second season of that. And it's kind of the same thing we always like to do: just shed our light, shed the love of Christ, and just kind of share about common events, things we got going on in our class, and just talk on whatever's on our heart. And so definitely, you guys want something to listen to, while you're driving, while you're working out. The Move Achieve Change podcast. We're on Spotify and a few other platforms as well.
Yeah. One really cool thing that we do at the very end of the podcast is we do a movie review. So
that was just about to get into that, man.
Yes,
I
sir.
was like, I think you guys like movies.
We definitely do.
We love movies, specifically Marvel's, high action, superhero, that kind of line. So we like to do movie reviews, and we kind of apply it and see how it kind of relates to the podcast topic and to what's going on currently.
Yeah, those who know us, we are big kids, probably the biggest kids you ever meet. So I think that's one thing we're able to relate to the kids anyways, because we are big
Even
kids
more,
ourselves.
yeah.
So that was something that I know that I picked up on, that you have that little movie, critic kind of section there.
Yes, sir.
A little
Yes,
bit.
sir.
Let me throw something out at you real quick, because I don't know if you've seen it, but have you seen Snake Eyes?
Yes.
Yep.
What's your take on that? I mean, I love the Japanese culture. I like the
That's
discipline.
exactly
I like
what I thought. Yeah.
that what they bring. I love that part, but I don't know. I was kind of tossed back and forth on that one. I don't know.
Yeah.
The only thing, the downside is I kind of felt, just because Marvel's killing it right now,
Yeah.
I feel like they kind of had to throw in something that kind of compares to Marvel. I feel like they leave that the stones and the superhero kind of supernatural stuff out of it. I think it'll been just fine. I thought it was, like you said, the Japanese culture was awesome, just to see the intentionality, the discipline, how they kind of let themselves go, and how everything was better for the clan. And just kind of seeing how Snake Eyes, how his role changed from the start to the end of the movie was really huge too. So
I like that. I just like I love the samurai culture.
Yes.
Definitely.
The honor and death before dishonor and all that. I mean, I just love those type of movies as well. But I was curious, because I saw that and I'm like, it had that ninja influence into it. And I'm like, I wonder how they're gonna use that in the picture. But it was good though. I mean, overall, I think it was pretty good. It had a good like story behind it.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's what kind of anchored
like
it.
honor
story.
and loyalty.
Yes,
that
sir.
kind of like.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that kind of changes real quick, doesn't it? The person you think would be the loyal, sometimes
I'm telling
is
you.
the one that changes color all
say
of
it
a
again.
sudden.
Preaching over there, Pascal. You're preaching.
But yeah, it was good though. But yeah, I'm glad. And you guys want to listen to that? The podcast, that's pretty good, because they touch on that and whatever it is that is in their heart to do. And I want to have you guys on my podcast too, because I have a youth podcast as well. It's about empowering youth, and I know it was more geared toward the youth, but some people were telling me, man, you need to have other people there that maybe bring a different perspective as far as the age, but they're working with youth, because they're connected with that as well. So yeah, I know, bro. I mean, that's what I mean. You guys are there, and I definitely would like.
We're gonna schedule a day when we get done with this.
Yeah, for sure.
We'll be on there, sir.
To be able to put it out there to empower kids, because I believe we need more individuals like yourself that are really, I'll be honest, being in ministry all my life, I've seen so much, and I think even now more than ever that youth ministry is not a priority as much in church as it used to be.
For
and I
sure.
think that's why we're losing them. The kids come to church usually in high school because their parents are bringing them. But after they graduate, it's like, okay, hey, you're kind of on your own now. You're going to school. You're getting a job. You're doing whatever. But that's when you really see them disconnect from church.
For sure.
And they call it. I've heard it called the black hole years, like from 18 to 29.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's true, because whatever it is that's going on in your life, you come disconnected, because the church doesn't have anything for you at that age group. Usually they have children's ministry and all that.
Yeah.
But I think that's what's lacking, and that's what I'm hopefully, with God's help, I want to be able to fulfill that, where if they can't even get connected to the church, I get that, but as long as they're connected somewhere, to be able to address those issues that they're dealing with, because they, once you graduate, they shoot you out there and like, here's life and you figure it out.
I think kids too nowadays are dealing with just so much more than what we did as kids, and even the next generation. I think sometimes there's a disconnect because we're not taking the time to really understand what they're going through, or have a caring heart. And so I think me and Jeremy have a unique perspective, because being in fitness, it kind of unlocks those doors, and we're able to have those conversations. And so we definitely are in a blessed position. But I agree with you 100%, sir. I agree with you 100%.
Yeah, and that's usually, sometimes you have to use some type of bait.
Yeah,
I believe it, because you can't let's
just preach at somebody.
Yeah, exactly, bro. Hey, Jesus loves you. Are you saved? Are you like?
They're
like,
not trying to hear all that.
What the heck are you talking about?
Yes, sir.
But if you use something that they're attracted to, that's a gateway to say, okay, let's start you here. But knowing fully well that Jesus is the whole thing that you're bringing to them. But a lot of times, that's why I tell people, I said, sometimes you don't have to preach the gospel per se. But what's the saying? I'm trying to remember what it was called. It says, preach the gospel, but if you have to use words, they're like, what do you mean? How else can you preach the gospel if you don't use words? I'm like, you don't have to say anything, just by the way you live, by the way you present yourself. Yeah.
That's deep, bro.
Big.
They're going to see something in you, man. You've already preached to them, and you don't even know it.
That's deep, man. I like that.
But they're going to pull you in somehow, because they're going to say, man, there's something about you, bro. What's going on? Why is it that I don't see you, all freaked out or whatever? And that's the perfect time to say, well, there's a reason behind it, man. I'll share it with you.
Yes, sir.
It's no secret. It's just, I'll be more than happy to share that, why I'm where I'm at.
Yes, sir.
And so using what you guys are doing, it's like the bait that says, pulls them in. Like, who doesn't love sports?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's awesome what you're doing. Anything else that maybe you want to share with the audience before we kind of disconnect here a little bit?
I'll say this. I know that we're in a scary time with COVID and everything going on, and we're talking about the vaccine and things like that. But I think the best defense is a healthy body, guys. And so it's not about being able to bench 300 pounds or squat 600 pounds. It's just about being healthy and making those decisions and choices. And so exercise, guys. Walk, go out and jog. Watch what you eat. It's not as hard as the fear. I think there's a lot of fear associated with it. Oh, I gotta join a fitness program and join the gym, and then you got all these different your pride kind of sets in because you're not where you used to be at. But it's just about being healthy, guys. Doing something that you didn't do yesterday. So drink your water, guys. Eat your vegetables, y'all. And get out and do some kind of cardio, because I think that's the most important thing. Your heart is the most important muscle you need to be working on. And so I'll say that. I want to preach at people. I know sometimes people get uncomfortable, but it's definitely the season to do that, guys, and that's why we're here. And so if you have any questions or anything like that, we could help you guys out with, because that's really our whole goal. We're not trying to make money. This is not about a money thing. It's just really to educate God's people and to help them just be the best them. A lot of times we have a calling, right? But our calling is based on what our physical body can hold. So if you're physically sick and you physically can't get up in the morning or do something, you're not going to be able to walk in what truly God has for you. And I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah. Real quick, anything you'd like to add to that?
No, just kind of like my brother said, take one step. If you haven't started already, take one step, then take two, then take three. Start today, and once you do that, don't look back, guys. If you don't learn anything from us today, just stay active, stay healthy, and just learn from our walk.
Yeah, and that's usually the hardest. I would say to people, the first one is always the hardest.
Yeah.
But once you put that first one, you realize, man, I did. Even though it was an inch, you moved forward.
And you'll feel so better about it too.
You really will.
You'll feel gratified with that. So guys, just encouraging you guys to make those moves and those steps, guys.
Well, guys, thank you so much. I mean, we're already, it goes by pretty quick. Like I tell people, they're like, man, already? Like I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to talk about everything. And I go, no, it got pretty quick. But thank you. I appreciate you guys, what you do for the community, for, the kids especially. And I ask God continue to bless you. And thank you, folks, for joining us here. We'll be back again next week here on Bridging the Gap Talk Show. God bless and take care.